Thanks, Ayushi and the team. This is a very good initiative, and you have structured it very nicely. I can say, you know. So, guys, I'm going to talk about robotics, and also most of it, I'm going to tell you, what are the different kind of businesses, how to start a business, how to raise fund, you know. So, um, I am production engineer from VGTI, Mumbai. Then post that, I worked in a German company. Through that, I was in Germany and in a robotic company. So I was there, learned my robotics, came back, started a robotic company in 2005. 2018, we got listed on stock exchange, and since then we have been, growing the business. So I'm going to share a small PPT wherein, I'm going to tell you what is robotics, in a very broader way, and then probably, I'm going to also tell you how to start a business, how to raise fund. Okay. So I hope you guys can see my screen. Humro is one of our brand which is focused on US and Europe, and it caters to mobile robotics, which is AMR. Okay. So Humro comes from human and robo, and this company was also incubated by IM Ahmedabad. So to start with, what is robo? Okay, so that's a beautiful question they asked, and let me clarify what is robo. Robo is any machine, any mechanical thing or any power gear train attached to a motor. It can be 240 volts, it can be 24 volts, it can be 48 volts, coupled with a controller. Okay, and so that's a robo. Any machine with a motor can be a robo. So then there can be mobile robos. So typically, if you have to move a robo from point A to point B, it has to be coupled with 24 or 48 volts. So mobile robots will typically have vision. So that will be also coupled. When it has vision, it has cameras and sensor through what it moves, or what it performs the next action. So other type of the old robots, which were fixed robots, the robo which were mounted to the ground, were not having vision or not having sensor primarily. They You could put cameras and sensors on the fixed robots also. uh, lidar sensors. When I say sensors, there are different kind of sensors, but primarily I'm saying lidar sensors. So when you start making mobile robo from a fixed robo, you put cameras and sensor. So this is a very huge topic. We can keep on talking the whole night and day. So these robos are typically run on firmware and computer software. So why I'm trying to tell you, when I say motors, these are 240 volts, it is electrical engineer. 24 and 48 volt, it is electronic engineers. When I say vision, cameras, sensors, these are like a lot of physics enthusiast, or mechanical engineer, or whoever engineer. So there are a lot of, when you say a robo, there are a lot of fields which are involved. When I say firmware, can be an embedded engineer or a electronic engineer, or the controls guy, PLC engineers. When we say computers, it is computer engineer, right? So it's a combination of a lot of fields. So I'm just going to skip the introduction about our company. You can go and check. We are a public company. All the information is there in the public domain. Uh, So this is our journey. We started with fixed robots, and then we moved towards mobile robots. So interestingly, they asked the question, right? So when you say robots, what do you see? as a robo. So robo can be one axis, two axis, four axis, five axis, and when it reaches humanoid, it can be, 20 to 30 axis also and upwards. So when you see our, you know, hold on, I've missed that. So when you see your hand, right, a human hand from shoulder to wrist, there are six axes, right? So the way it moves, and the fingers itself will have more than 10 axes. So what do you mean by axis? Every axis will require one motor typically. So if you have to make a arm, so it is like till wrist, it is six axis. If you have to make the fingers also, probably it will be 16 axis in just one single hand. So if you have to make a hand, you have to make 16 axis motors, 16 motors, right? And 16 controllers. You have to make another hand, another 16 axis. So just the two hands will have, if you want all the actions of fingers also, so it's like more than 32 axis. And, then is your, whatever, like, you can turn from your waist, that is one axis, your knees, your ankle. So human body can be, any number of axes. Like it can be 30, 32, 35 axis also. So every axis, when we say, it is governed by a motor and a controller. And then all the controllers are to be governed by one single controller. So I think, I hope I'm making sense. You guys are able to understand, right? So, first is, the axis. You have to decide, like, if we are making a robot for factory, or making a robot for ship, or, port, or making a robot for warehouse or last mile, or for malls, hospital, whatever, airports. You have to know how many axes are there. Like, it is going forward, reverse, side, up, down, whatever it is, right? So, accordingly, you have to put those number of motors, those are number of controllers. If it is moving robots, you have to put lidar sensors, and then all these controller have to have a master controller. So when I have to run a motor, it is like a, I have to have a chip, like a motherboard. I have to write a firmware program. Like when I, uh, give some command, you have to accelerate. When I say stop, you have to slow down, then stop. And so these are called parametric programming, okay, of a motor. So typically electronic engineer or electrical engineer will understand what I'm saying, right? So these are parametric programming, or, so this is the first level of programming which is to be done. Then when you have to have, uh, suppose if I am ordering something in Flipkart or say Amazon, so that command has to go to the robot. So there, all the computer engineer comes. So that command will go from a app to client server. From client server, it will come to, the like if we are supplying the robot, our server, we will then, understand that and give the command to various robots. That command will then ask them to go to point A or point B, So these are all computer programming. But once I give a command to a motor controller, it is all embedded engineer. Then, how to accelerate, how to go, whatnot is all, then. So this is the kind of architecture of a robo on a 30,000, feet, I'm telling you. I hope I am able to explain that. So I'll just show a small video, the mobile robots, what we created. These are nothing but, moving forklifts, autonomous forklifts. So this is like truck loading, unloading, autonomous robots or autonomous forklift, you can say. So this has motors, this has controller, this gets command from a customer. Suppose you're ordering something, to that level it is integrated. You're able to see the screen, the video,
No,
Riddhi?
no, no, we cannot see it.
You can't see. Oh,
We
my
only
bad.
can see the
Sorry, sorry.
PPT.
Can you see now? Riddhi, can you see the video now?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the mobile robos, which has everything like motor, the controllers, the lidar sensors, and it gets command the moment a customer orders. Uh, so I am going to tell you the career options. Okay, just hold on. Let us go step by step. So you have to first understand what is robo, then we will come to career options. Okay. So this has vision. This has parametric programming. This has everything like computer programming. So there are different type of robots, like one which will load unload the truck, one which will carry the material from ground to ground, and they are solving various problems, right? So this has obstacle, avoidance, and all the lidar sensor, vision sensors. So this is another kind of robo which picks up and places at 12 meters height. So these are different kind of robots we created. Uh, so uh, so once I've told you what is robotics, we can go in depth of it. I'll try to tell you, people don't understand what are the kind of businesses, right? So they take every business as same business. When I was in your age, I used to think, all businesses are same. So first, we have to understand what kind of businesses. So broadly, it is categorized into, B2B and B2C. B2B is business to business. It is typically has a smaller TAM. TAM is total addressable market, where you can go directly a customer, sell. It's a basically a matured market. You require less of the fund to, target a business. Like this robots, what we are making are B2B, are not B2C, right? So B2C is like, Zomato can be a B2C, right? So it's a huge TAM. Uh, Huge funds are required when you start some businesses like this, or when you think to start a startup for B2C. You should understand whether you are starting for B2B or B2C. If it is B2C, huge funds are required, right? Though you might make a beautiful product. See, whatever product you make, this the most important is to, selling, how you sell that, right? So B2B will have a smaller time, will require smaller money. If you have smaller fund, you should basically think for B2B product rather than B2C product. B2C, yes, then you should have one of your friends who is good in finance, who is, has a lot of connect in, raising huge funds, or come from a very good family, or a good family connect, right? So B2C is typically require huge fund for marketing, digital marketing, spending and stuff like that, right? So in one of my initial time, we made Tato Bite, which was like, Zomato, which was much before Zomato, right? But we failed. Our product was beautiful product, but we failed because we were not having funds, and we never understood that we should not have attempted B2C without, having a good amount of funds. Then the second category to see, we think every business has a business, right? So there are different kind of businesses, right? Individual professional like lawyer, CA, CS, freelancer, computer programmers can also be, business, but those are, individual professionals. Then there are traders who buy from here and sell there. So zero risk, right? So those are the traders. That also people call a business, right? So earlier when we started, we used to think we will start a business, and we started a trading business. So you have to understand what are the different categories and what are we entering into. So trading might require a very less fund, right? Then there are manufacturers, then there are service providers, then there are integrators, like Zomato is one of the integrator, right? So then the government, related tendering and contracts. So you have to understand where you're starting a startup, right? And what kind of funds you will require. So these are the first categories. That is what, then what are the new age businesses? You have to understand how the new age businesses are getting formed, right? So mostly what are the principles of new age businesses is certainty, right? So certainty is like 10 minutes delivery, right? Can be a classic case, or anything, right? Where uh, how much time you're going to require, how much time you're going to take to get that product. Every business, is around certainty, right? Then the second thing is convenience. So if your business is having convenience, certainty, these are some of the business principles which people are making businesses or startups, right? Then there are delayed cash flows, which can be EMI, like Bajaj Finance card is one of the success stories, right? So it is like delayed cash flows models, right? So you have to, though you might be computer engineer, or whatever, mechanical engineer, you have to think whether you are making a product which is going to have a social impact, disruptive, delayed cash flow, convenience, certainty, or what kind of new age principles you are following. And I would always suggest don't go into a business which is like end of the life cycle, right? Which is already invented 30 years back or 40 years back in Western countries or China somewhere, where the supply chain is already so matured that you jump in now and you won't be able to compete in the cost, right? So you have to have something ahead of the curve, or which is having a lot of tailwind, I would say. So what can be the first step? We are going to come on the career options. This is like how to start a business, right? So and these are very very basic ideas. Like what can be the first step? Okay, so first step is to look into sunrise industry. Don't look into sunset. Like the industry which is already there for 30 years and you're trying to do that can be a disaster. So what is sunrise industry? Like electric can be a sunrise industry, or electric vehicles, any kind of electric vehicles. Battery can be sunrise industry, solar can be sunrise industry, waste management in India can be sunrise industry, right? So sunrise is what is just starting and which has a lot of tailwind. So even a media core entrepreneur with a lot of tailwind can be a billionaire, can be a successful entrepreneur. Second way of starting a business is you can also check a import bill of a country, right? If you're in India, or if you want to start a business in US or Europe, or wherever. So the best way is to check the import bill, right? For example, India. Okay, so India, what is the highest? So if India has 3.5 trillion GDP, right? So how much they spend in what categories? So if 3.5 trillion is our GDP, or 4 trillion, or whatever, so the highest amount India spends, if you check the import bill, is on the oil. So can you make some business which can uh, you know um, substitute oil, like electric vehicles, like electric whatever, which are going to reduce the country's import bill? So that product is definitely going to sell, right? That is how you have to see. Second, if you see India's import bills, second number highest, gold. We import, we spend a lot of dollars in importing gold. So can we have cryptocurrency, or gold bonds, or whatever, to reduce the dependency on importing of physical gold? So these are the startup ideas you should look into, and this is how you have to look the problem of a country, right? Third is, if you see the import bill, is electronics, right? So can you make a mobile phone in India? Can you make computers in India? Can you make treadmill in India? The console on the treadmill, or whatever equipments you see in a gym. Mostly everything, if you go to good hotels or good gym, you will see everything imported from US, Accor or something, right? So why can't our electronic engineers and computer engineers and physics graduates can make those consoles and those sensors and those machines, right? So you have to keep on checking the import bills. The electronic is one of the third highest import bill of India. Fourth is probably capital goods, right? So all capital goods are imported in India. If you go to a tire changing shop in India, the tire alignment, the tire this, that, everything is imported, right? So you go to anything, and things are imported. So the fourth largest is, you can go and check in the import bill what are the items being imported, maximum. Can we make uh, Atmanirbhar Bharat mein, can we make those products in India, right? So that's the way. Don't go on the Insta reels, or the reels which are being circulated. So सब वो humanoid दिखाते हैं. There are so many humanoid reels, and we think humanoid is the robot. So humanoid is the highest level of the robo. But can we make 3 axis, 4 axis, 5 axis, 10 axis robots? And there are a lot of robots which are being actually imported, right? Or machines, you can say. So For me, treadmill is also a robo, right? So it's doing its job. It's a robo, right? So uh, so think of a product like that. Don't just think about starting service. So think about product and how to think about product. These are few ideas. Then once you see the import bill, you decide on the product, check what is its market and stuff like that. And then try to acquire the knowledge of that product, do various courses, acquire the domain expert. Don't just jump into that, right? To have domain expertise, work in those companies, do some short courses on those product and get the knowledge. Don't just jump into that, right? So start working in such industries also to acquire those knowledge. These can be first few step to see a problem or see the opportunity, and to have few next steps. Then we will go how you can raise funds. A lot of startups or a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of engineers who want to start a startup don't know how to raise funds, right? And there's a lot of fund in India. They need a lot of entrepreneurs in India, but there are not correct people or with the correct thought process. And that is how this mentorship is going to help, right? So this can be just a starting point. You guys can reach me out. You can take my details from, Ayushi or Rishi. We can structure it. And whoever is interested, we can, go further. This can be just a start point, right? So, when you start, banks can be the one of the, funding house, which most of us know that, banks give loans. So these are debt funding. Debt fundings are generally, CA, your company CA, or you can hire a CA and they will give you. Debt funding is generally if you have a good business, if you have a profitable business, if you have orders, bank will give, otherwise bank won't give on your idea. So they will mortgage and they will give. So this is one of the business, one of the method to raise fund. Then are HNIs, then are venture capitalists, then are private equities. Uh, these have steps, right? So first is HNI. If you go with an idea, you have to search for an investment banker. So this is not the CA. CA is not going to help you to get HNIs or private equity or venture capitalists. They don't understand. So you have to go and search for an investment banker. So Bombay must be having 10,000 investment bankers. So you have to go and search an investment banker, pitch them the idea, make the pitch deck, and then uh, first HNIs will invest, then comes family houses, family offices, and then come, private equity and venture capitalists. So there are 4 or 5 type, but all can be approached through an investment banker, not a CA. If you go to CA and ask them, how to raise fund from private equity, they won't understand. To the longest of my time, I never used to understand the difference between these three, and I always used to, raise fund through bank. Bank funding can be very slow growth, right? You cannot grow faster because bank will always go on your past record. These people, venture capitalists, private equity, HNIs, will also see your idea. They will do future discounting. How good is your idea? What is the market potential and stuff like that. I hope I'm making sense. So then the third is the market, right? The stock market. So stock market is once you are profitable, once you reach a scale, you can list your company in public market. In India now, it is very simple to list companies in, government has made small exchanges, small SME exchange, small and medium exchange, where small companies can also list and raise fund. So for this you need merchant banker. Okay, so there are three kind of people. There is a CA who can get you fund from bank. There is an investment banker who can get you fund from HNIs, family offices, private equity, or venture capitalists. This is like, like uh, first year of engineering, second, third, fourth. You can't just go to venture capitalists. You have to go to HNI. They will do a seed funding or angel, funding. Then you will go to family offices. Then you will go to private equity and venture capitalists, right? So it is like step by step you grow, and ultimately at the end you can go to a merchant banker, and he will can raise a bigger fund from market also. So these are the different ways to raise fund. You should not be scared that you don't have fund, how to start a business. Nobody has the fund. You should have the idea, you should have a solid business case. There are a lot of people who will fund, right? So these are different career options. I will ask the organizers to send you this, like, for BSc, BCom. I'll just skip all that because most of you are like, engineers. So let us go there. Yeah, so these are some of the new age courses if you want to do. I am going to come on AI and ML and, whatnot. Industry 4.0, everything I'm going to come on that. Okay, so let us go to career option. This is okay. So once you make the product, then there can be a lot of things like AI, artificial intelligence is. So there can be a software bot. I was all along I was talking about the product hardware bot, and then the firmware, and then there can be lot of AI layers on that. So there are a lot of software bots also, or software programs like Zoho, you might have heard now. Uh, they have made a very good CRM. So they started with a CRM, right? So there is a Salesforce, which is a very, very high-end CRM, but Zoho, got CRM for the small scale industries. And that was a very hit product. First, very successful Indian software product, I would say, Zoho. For last 5 6 years, you have been listening about Zoho now, but that's a really good product. So there can be softwares, right, or software robots, which can be right from Alexa, LLM, or so. Okay, look at this way that a robo with a motor and controller, then comes human attributes. Okay, I'm trying to explain in a very simple language. Human attributes can be vision, a person, like how a person can see, talk, and walk, and do various activities, right? So vision can be one of the uh, very good opportunity for computer engineers. So vision is again a very, very big thing. All robots will require vision techs, right? It right from uh, so uh, so they say they have started calling a camera as a computer vision. So let us talk about the first attribute, vision. Okay, so they have started talking about camera. They nowadays they call computer vision. Why they call computer vision? And what is the difference between computer vision and a camera? So camera and computer vision is nothing but same, right? So camera, earlier cameras, if you see, they were only watching you. They were not making any decisions. Okay. So that will be a person sitting will be watching all the cameras, and then that person used to take a decision. Okay, यहाँ पे चोर आया, अभी यहाँ पे ये आया, या इसने ये किया, यहाँ पे oil गिर गया, whatever. So he used to see, he used to decide. What is the computer vision? Computer vision is a chip inside a camera which does edge computing and which does the decision at the edge. It doesn't send the feed to a server. And then you are, earlier what we used to do, okay, yeah, get the feed to a server, and then we will write, some AI layer or some program, and which will make the decision. Okay. So that is a basic camera with which is coming, the digital, it is creating output. Then you study, then you make whatever, now, with the vision camera, there is a chip there. There are a lot of edge computing happening in the camera, and that is called computer vision. Okay. So, what else is there in the computer vision? There is a chip, there is a chota embedded program, and then you are, writing a small layer. Okay, this is my. So, if you have seen now the vision cameras, it can set up a periphery near your house. Anybody entering that periphery, there'll be a digital input created at the edge. It will give a input to a buzzer, and alarm will start ringing. So this, it is making a edge computing. It is making a decision, and it is giving an output to the buzzer. So this is what is happening from camera to um, computer vision. So, the one attribute from the earlier robo to the new age robos are human attributes are being added. A robo can walk, a robo can talk, a robo can see. So, what you can do? You can do ambient intelligence masters. If you're a computer engineer, you can go and do ambient intelligence. You can do vision, in vision you can do various courses, ambient courses they call. You do various courses, and you can be a vision specialist in a robo. All robo are going to require vision, ambient intelligence. So there are a lot of good courses. I've met some of the very good uh, vision engineers from Milan University. Milan has a very good course in ambient intelligence course. So what is ambient intelligence? The cameras, you're making them intelligent. You're writing various programs, various layers, which are, able to process the various data is being captured by various cameras or sensors, and then, you're writing various AI layers on that. So that is one thing. Second is uh, talking. A robo is going to talk. So what is talking is nothing but Alexa, right? So earlier, those were all integrated with NLP engines, natural language processing engines. Um, Now those are all LLM and SLM, large language modules, small language models. So the new age robots are going to be talking, texting, emailing you in a more human kind of thing, right? So now if you have to, you go to California, you have to set up an appointment with the hotel. You just tell your robo, your phone, set up a, reserve a table in this hotel. It will continuously call. It will call 100 times till your your this is not booked. And the way those robos are talking, you won't realize it is a human or robo, right? So these are all LLM SLM, right? So uh, you can choose. All these markets are huge for computer programmers who don't want to go into hardware side, only software side. Can choose whether they want to go in vision, whether they want to go in NLP engine, LLM, SLM, you know uh, speech, text to speech, speech to text. And third is obviously the walking. So walking, you can see a Roomba, mopping in your house. That is the walking, right? So robo is moving. Or autonomous car, or the autonomous vehicle, what we have made, are like combination of all these, right? So it has a vision, it has navigation, it has. So computer engineers career option, I will say, choose this. Uh, you can go in, uh, SLAM, or fleet management, or SWAM robotics. There are, you name it, and there are courses, right? So you go in. Uh, so robotics, there are five or six stacks, right? So one is when you order through Amazon, the command will go to the server. So what are that? That is basically a Python program, which is transferring your data into the. So that's a very simple programming, right? So that can be Python programming, right? So that can be UI, UX, and programming. So that is one bucket. Then the second bucket is fleet management. Fleet management, if you want to specialize in fleet management, go in SLAM, learn SLAM, learn uh, uh, vision based programming in that. So those are the career options, right? And then there are a lot of SWAM robotics courses are there. If there are like 100 robots being working together, what is the optimized path? So operation research, and so you need to know operation research in that optimized path. If one robot is going, he should do four jobs. So that is a different kind of programming, right? So in the different stack, you can choose. I would say there are hardly good SLAM engineers might be around, in the whole world might be 600, 700, right? Because this mobile robotics is evolving. So you should go in the kind of programming which is very, there are less talent. So SLAM is one of the rarest talent which is available in the robotics for computer engineers, only if they have to do job. So that's one of the career options. Then definitely Python have a lot of application in robotics, so Python can be used in all the stack. But if you want to do specialization, go in ambient intelligence programming. How this So ambient intelligence is like a combination of Python and control embedded firmware also. They will teach you firmware also. They will teach you how to take input output from a electronic thing and do the programming. So parametric programming and Python programming can be embedded intelligence, right? So do that, and then do SLAM. SLAM is one of the best career options now, people, if they want to do. So these are a few of the career options. So that's all from me. You can see this. This PPT is huge. I'm not going to bore you with the PPT. Riddhi, you can, and Ayushi, you can share the PPT with these guys. Uh, PPT has a lot of things, but I tried to cover. So we can have a question answer session if that is the format of this, and we can try to reply whatever we can.
Yes. So there were before I take any questions from the chat, I had we did a survey with the students and we received some of the questions. So I'll just take those questions as well. So in terms of the
So,
career,
you were able to understand what I was speaking? Was it
yes,
making
yes,
sense?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And so many students are curious about the real world opportunities in robotics. For example, one of the participants there here asked that as a mechanical engineering student, are there internships or training opportunities at your robotics firm? That's one. And how can students get applied or involved in this?
So, the answer is yes. We do have a lot of internship and a lot of training. There are a lot of job posts which you will see, and yes, we do have internship, and we do have.
Okay. And how can somebody build a career in robotics today? What's the right mix of technical knowledge, like you have already shared? Are there any hand-on projects or like they should have kind of a mindset that they can enter into the space?
See, anybody and everybody can make a robo, right? So it's a motor. You give a command, it will start. So it is that simple, right? So uh, one can see. so you have to understand the product, right? First, you have to see what kind of product gives you, that kick, or what is your calling, right? Robo is like a very generic thing, right? So as I explained you, how to see a product, right? So whether you want to start a business or whether you want to start a job, right? So if you want to do a business, what is your exposure, in the past life? Like, have you seen anything, any problem in your life? If not, then can you see the import bill? Can you see what are the ideas? Just don't, get up from the sleep and start dreaming. Go in a structured way to find out what product I should, make, why I feel. One has to be very convinced with his own idea, right? That no, I have done a study, I have done a survey. So if you see at the West, what the student, they do a lot of study, they do a lot of survey, right? So why this product, what is the market, whether our country is importing this, like that. So one has to first see the product themselves. They have to search a product themselves, because these things can't be given, on a platter, like do this, right? So of course, there are a lot of business ideas, but people have to come up with their own idea what they want to make. And I have told them how to look for a problem. They should see import bills. They should read what are the different kind of trends going to, happening in. So once they see these are the four trends, okay, they should see what is the TAM, the total addressable market, whether I'll be able to, address that. And there is a structured way of making a pitch deck, okay? So pitch deck has 7, 8 questions. These people can download pitch deck from, anywhere. And if they can answer themselves to all the question religiously in that pitch deck, that's the first step, or that can be second step. Once you identify a product,
Mm-hmm.
fill in that pitch deck. So pitch deck has a particular format. What is the market? What is your team? So if it requires four type of people, like if it requires embedded guy, if it requires, a finance guy, if it requires a marketing guy, and you are a computer guy. So there are a team of four. Whether you have those kind of people with the same passion, you know, or whether you have money to hire those guys. So you have to answer those questions, right? So in a pitch deck, you can just Google pitch deck format, and it will ask 7, 8 questions. What is the TAM? What is the product? What is the problem you're solving? Who is the team? Uh, what is the total revenue you can achieve? So there are 4, 5 questions or 8 questions, right? If you answer those, you're there. And those pitch deck will make you think on those questions, whether I have answers for that.
So finally, sir, like as somebody who's going to build, or like, I mean, they're thinking of going into starting a firm like yours. So what does like what will be like the biggest thing, or what kind of a social opportunity that they should think about and work upon it? Like you have already shared some, but what exactly should be a thought from inside?
Mhm. So first is, they have to look for a product. Just imagine a treadmill, okay, for example. So Riddhi has thought, ki, okay, treadmill is the biggest problem. Treadmill we are importing from US, and I am going to make it. Okay, so that can be a start point. So how she has got this? Probably she goes to all the uh, gyms of five-star hotels, and there she's seeing all treadmills are imported from US.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is the first problem. Why this can't be made in India? Of course, this can be made in India. So then what is the second thing? You will see what is the total TAM, total addressable market in India. How many treadmills are being sold? Okay, suppose 10,000 or 20,000. Okay, so what is the revenue I'm going to make? So 10,000 into whatever is the total addressable market. Okay. So there's the first. So in the pitch deck, they are going to ask what problem. So you said treadmill. Second, what is the market? So say 1,000 crores. Okay, whatever, like 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees into 10,000. So you come to a TAM, total addressable market, of say 1,000 crores, for example. Okay. So now you say, okay, so how much can be a market share of any company over 3 years? You can't have 100% market share, right? So there will be market share start with say 1%, 2%, going to 5%, 7%, 10%. So it can be a 100 crores company in 5 years, for example. Okay. So how much fund I require to make this? To first you will make one prototype, then you will make 15 prototype. So how much money I require and what kind of people are required, whether I can hire those people or whether I will get these people as a co-founders. Okay, so these are different steps. You say, okay, to make two prototype I might require 10 crores, and to run the whole payrolls for 1 year I might require 10 crores. Then you go with the idea, you design, you buy one, you do reverse engineering, then you go to a fund guy and say, okay, this is the idea, this is what it is, I'm going to do like this. Then he says, okay, let us do that. He gives you seed funding, that is called seed funding, seed round of 10 crores. Then you build those, go with that product to some of the gyms, hotel, take their idea, and then come back. So now just making a treadmill, whether Riddhi will be able to sell, the answer is probably no. बिकॉज हर एक आदमी को थोड़ी मेक इन इंडिया में इतना इंटरेस्ट है, उसको तो कॉस्ट में इंटरेस्ट है ना, उसको अपना बिजनेस चलाना. सो रिद्धि हैज टू हैव एड सम फीचर्स ऑफ नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, like pulse rate, heartbeat, and she has to add some fancy things in that, right? All the data has to be integrated with her phone, which is not there in those treadmills.
Mhm.
So, Riddhi has to do something extra than the treadmill itself. She has to have an app where her dietitian, her, and everything gets integrated. She gets a program like what should be my workout schedule today, and that is, communicated to your treadmill or whichever equipment you're, sitting. That is seamlessly integrated. So some tech you have to add a lot, and there'll be a lot of investor who will give you 100 crores also. But you have to come up with the idea. You can just go and say, okay, I'm going to make a treadmill because I want to make in India. ऐसा बिकेगा नहीं. You have to add a lot of tech in that. You have to say ki what value I'm adding, how much calories I'm consuming, how much calories I'm burning, what is my workout, whether my workout specialist has integrated with that app, whether that app is directly communicating with my treadmill. Think some products like how Chinese are making wow products, right? Every product you see Chinese, wow, you will feel kya hai, means so
Mhm.
you have to have a lot of passion. यू कैन जस्ट से ओके, मैं अभी एक ट्रेडमिल बनाएगा. ट्रेडमिल बनाओ, मेक इन इंडिया होना चाहिए, वो क्वालिटी का भी होना चाहिए, राइट? सो बट इट शुड बी एडेड विद लॉट ऑफ फीचर्स, यू नो so this is the kind, you have to have the ideas. Then there'll be a lot of fund, right? So don't worry about the fund. India has a lot of people who have a lot of money. They don't have entrepreneurs. Young people are busy on the Insta reels.
Mhm.
They should come out of that and become real entrepreneurs.